So today we have Seth with us here. He is a sales associate at 95 Nutrition, and he's also studying health promotion at Damon College. So Seth, hi.
Hi, how are you?
Talking to us today.
Thank you for having
We're
me.
excited to learn more about you. You've been here for a year and a half,
Mhm.
and I have to say, other than your excellent customer service and what I've heard from the customers, we don't know much about you as a person. So tell us, who is Seth?
So yeah, I'm Seth. I'm going to Damon College, and I'm studying health promotions, the health and fitness track. I run track there. I'm a sprinter, so I run the 100, the 200, and the 60. And I went to high school at Niagara Wheatfield.
All right. Why sprinting?
Because I don't know. I think I'm built for it. I can't do the
long
distance stuff.
would be very miserable for me.
I
Sprinting,
know.
you get it over with quick, and it's very competitive.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
Like you're in it in that
You get the
moment, and
adrenaline
that's
rush.
it. So you're a competitive kind of guy.
Of course, of course.
Were you a sprinter in high school too?
Yeah.
So you've been track and field?
Yeah. Track is something I actually picked up. I always did volleyball, and then my senior year is something I just did for fun, and I ended up being half decent at it. So I just kind of ran with it. You know what I mean?
What else? What other sports you played?
So I did basketball for a year or two, and then I did volleyball all the way up from 7 through 12.
Can you dunk?
I'm close. Off 2 feet.
Just to
Such
be
a
honest,
weird
I had some ideas. I was gonna mount a basketball hoop, and when you can't do that, I was gonna dunk
gosh.
on you.
Oh,
It's criminal.
So who in your family is athletic?
I'm really kind of the only one that does sports. My brother did lacrosse in high school, but nothing. He didn't really, end up pursuing anything with that. So
Did your parents promote health and wellness?
it was just something I kind of picked up as well. So
Interesting.
I'm always, trying to make the most out of my body and optimizing it, and sports kind of fell into that category. So
That's so important, and now you're getting a degree in it.
of course.
So health promotion is what?
Health promotion deals with so 2 different tracks. Again, one's dealing with the community health, and we get lessons on that as well. But health promotion with my track is health and fitness promotion would be more just like dealing with people individually. I feel very fulfilled helping people with their goals, especially so something as sensitive as weight loss or something like that. So seeing people in that position and being able to see them grow and prosper is very fulfilling for me. And eventually want to maybe do something maybe behind the scenes, or even start a business with that. Something like that would be something extremely interesting to me.
Well, my second question was why work at 95, but I think you just answered
Yeah.
that question for us, because that is what we're all about, is
Yeah.
helping the community lose weight. And knowing that weight loss is a sensitive topic is so important.
Yeah, just the fact that you said it's something as sensitive as weight loss shows that you're compassionate for our customers that come in and have to go on that journey. And the first is admitting that they want to lose weight, need to lose weight, and having to speak with someone who understands that it's not easy to know where to start or where to begin. So what would be your advice for the best way to start on a weight loss journey?
I would say the best thing is always going to be your consistency. So find something that works for you. Manage what you enjoy. So for example, if you're in the gym and you don't enjoy doing a certain movement, there's also, as probably numerous ways to do that same, or say hit that muscle group, or do that kind of exercise. So I would say stick with what you can do and what you enjoy, and then pick it up as much as you can do from there. Yeah.
Well, I hate running, and I run anyway. So I'm that kind of person. But I totally get there's a bunch of different ways to get your cardio in,
Yeah.
a bunch of different ways you
Exactly.
can
Yeah.
move and lift weights. So finding what works for you is very important.
Absolutely.
You said you wanted to maybe pursue a business after. What kind of thought have you put into that, or
Yeah.
structure?
Like I touched on before, just like working with people individually. So I think I want to start from the ground up, and then if I can build from there, it would be great. But to be honest, I don't have much experience in it, so I don't really know what to expect. But I definitely expect it to be a long, drawn-out process. I'm sure you guys probably went through something similar. So.
Oh, for sure.
Working with our customers, is there any one particular or couple of stories you could share of people that you've helped out that come into the store that come to mind?
I would say some people, even sometimes you could see, aren't always comfortable in a space where they're, not familiar with. So being able to extend that hand out where, you can do that, I think sometimes gives the customer a sense of security if it's their first time or something. or general just advice, recommendations. I think that goes a long way to building a relationship on a personal level rather than just a business. So, or trying to make a sale, it makes them feel like they are cared for as well. So they are their goals are reasonable as well. So
Yeah.
I think that's something social media has really done to the fitness community, is made people who are fit like yourself seem intimidating.
yeah,
Like you wouldn't accept someone who's overweight. Like, why are you so overweight? But so many people come through our doors and are like, oh my gosh, it was so wonderful. I didn't expect it to be like that. And it's like, geez, what are they showing you out on the internet
I
here?
know,
Because
I know.
we come from a place where if I know more than you on a topic such as staying fit or losing weight, I'm more than happy to share it with you and walk you through that process. And there's never any judgment because you're here for a reason. You're here because you don't know how to lose weight, and that's where we step in and help. So for anybody out there who thinks it's intimidating to come here,
Oh, absolutely.
you're walking into a store with Seth, someone just like Seth in there.
And that's one of the values that we have here is people are looking at you as someone that has authority on the subject for guidance and help and not judgment. And here, what we want is to show people that you can come here before anywhere else, and because you're not going to be judged, you're going to be helped, and we have your best interest in mind. And it's awesome to see that obviously you've been here for a year and a half because you connect with our values, and a lot of the things that you're saying are exactly the things that we feel as a company.
And our number one thing for weight loss is starts with food. You can't out-train a bad diet. Why don't you tell Seth about out-training a bad diet? He'll appreciate it since he's a runner. He may be a sprinter. But
I've been running a lot this year. Last month I ran 207 miles.
Nice.
And I gained 3 pounds.
There it goes.
I did a lot of eating, a lot of partying, drinking, and you definitely can't out-train a bad diet.
So we found a great happy hour at Chili's. You get like bottomless chips and 2-for-1 drinks.
That's dangerous.
And we're sitting there the one day at happy hour on a Friday, and he's dipping his chip and sipping his margarita. He goes, I just don't get how I can run 207 miles and gain 3 pounds. And I said, look at what we're doing right now. And that would be why.
And then I went and looked up how many calories are in one of those margaritas, and I was like, okay.
Everything in balance, yeah.
Yes. So you absolutely need to start with food first and foremost. I know you understand that through your education and through being here, because you cannot out-train a bad diet. You are living proof of that. So let's switch topics. This is your sophomore year in college?
Yes, correct.
So you've been there for this is your second year.
Exactly, correct.
How was your first year?
Our first year was it was great towards, I would say, the latter half. It was a big feeling out process as well. I mean, from any kind of big jump where you have that structure in high school to, you have to be here at a certain time. And, your senior year, you get a little bit of like a taste of, making your own schedule, then having a little bit of freedom. But, when you really get to college, you really get to make your own schedule. You have to manage your time well, especially, I know we kind of touched on that as well. It's just like managing time through, being an athlete, and then
you're an athlete, you're working, and you're going to school.
Correct, right.
So most kids will just do athletics in school or just school.
Yeah, right, absolutely.
Adding a part-time work schedule into that's huge.
So
your work ethic,
it was definitely a big feeling out process, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful for that time now, because I feel a lot more confident going into this year as I did, kind of just feeling around in the dark last year. So absolutely.
You're not alone.
Yeah.
I went to a college preparatory high school, not just your average public school. I'm not sure how much that education was really worth, looking back at it, because my freshman year I got my ass handed to me.
Yeah.
I was like, this is hard. I actually have to study, and I wasn't involved in any athletics. And it was still incredibly hard to adjust to the college atmosphere.
Yeah, especially with how much you work. That's another thing too. In the athletics, I played baseball in college, so it wasn't like sprinting. There wasn't the strict diet portion of it, the workout portions of it that went along with it too, in regards to how much time you have in college. So I can't even imagine how much of a struggle that is for you. But you're doing it the right way, because you're getting exposed to what we're all exposed to now especially if you're gonna run a business someday, that you have to have time management, stress management, and you have to have your priorities in order. So to be able to learn that at your age puts you ahead of the curve for everyone else who's like, when I get my career, I'll dial those priorities in.
Absolutely.
That's not how it works.
Right. You gotta build your base first. Absolutely.
So how are you balancing everything?
The biggest struggle was always sleep. So I took the liberty of really this summer, but also like the latter half of last year, is like doing a lot of research on sleep, because not only does that play a role on your diet and weight loss, but also like performance and recovery, because the workouts are every day and sleep is a struggle when you're getting up at 5 in the morning sometimes. So if you're not getting a sufficient amount of sleep, I was finding yourself either not performing to the ability that you're capable of, or also just injuries as well. I had a few injuries in the first half of the season where I was out for a little while, but towards the latter half, you start to balance these things like your sleep, your nutrition, your recovery, stuff like that. They stack on top of each other. It makes everything just a whole lot easier.
What does your week look like for your track and field?
But it depends on when you're at in season. So like we start next week, so I can expect a lot of conditioning to come up. So a lot of like a lot of volume, a lot of maybe some more long distance stuff. So once we're in more of a mid-season form, we just touched on injuries. We're doing a more of like, say, top speed work in the sprinting program, where you're giving it everything, for a couple of reps or so, but that's it, maybe 3 reps or so for the day. And then come, championship competition time, then you have really just maintenance work. So it's a lot of technical stuff. So even get something like may seem simple, like getting the blocks, has a lot of different elements to it. So you're really just working on those things, perfecting your start, stuff like that, reaction time. That makes a big difference in something like 100 meters or 60 even, where you have even less time to make up for your mistakes. Yeah.
Is 60 an indoor?
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
What's your times for your PBs for?
Yeah. A 60, I am not completely familiar with offhand, because it was my first season indoor. We didn't offer that in high school, but for outdoor, I run a 22.7 on my 200 meters. My 100 is 11:01.
22 for 200. That's
yeah.
I don't know if I can beat you.
If it wasn't raining, he wanted to.
I know. I was ready,
So,
right? I was hitting some stretches in the parking lot.
We don't
so.
need any injuries from either of you, please. That's for sure.
What's your 100?
My 100's an 11:01. I was looking to get in the 10s, but
this year.
Yeah, this year, of course. That's what we're looking for. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I think my personal best is like 14s.
Well, I just want to let everyone know, if you see me sprinting, you should also run in the opposite direction, because there's probably a reason for that.
Think about it. 5 seconds off the world record. That's not bad when you think about it that way.
Yeah. What's been the toughest challenge with transitioning from high school track and field to college?
Oh, well, I think, overall, just like, it's a lot more strict in not just the coaching, but like the practices, the times. Like, so last year I commute from home, so I get up around 5. Practice starts maybe around 6:15, 6:30, and goes till 8, depending if I have a class or not during that time. High school was just something, after school, and then you make to, if you missed a practice or something, you had to work. It wasn't a huge deal, but it's a lot more strict here as well, because every single practice matters for recovery and whatnot as well. So I would say that definitely the biggest difference is overall just like, I know I touched on it earlier, is recovery, because you're doing so much as well, especially when you're not used to that, going into the year. So that's definitely a big thing I'm going to take into consideration going this year. Yeah.
What about the competition?
Oh, that's a whole other thing too. It's so much different when you're going from in high school, placing really well. It was a very humbling experience to start. Maybe not so close to the top, but again, I pride myself on my work ethic. So towards the end of the year, I was, up in those 2-3 ranks in those, in those races. So I was very excited for that. Yeah.
Are you balancing your nutrition during the day? Like,
you
do
have
a
to,
calorie intake that you need to hit? Or
Yeah.
are you just going by how you feel?
You have to. I mean, again, so it depends, but you have to as well. So I always cut down for the season, and then summer. It's usually the other way around for people take summer to cut for the beach, but I want to be lighter I always try and be lighter and take my nutrition definitely more serious during that mid-season form. Absolutely, you definitely have to take that into consideration. Even something like which was a big switch up for me from just like lifting every day and working on growing to doing something like more endurance-based workouts where it's not just all about your protein goal, you know what I'm saying? Balancing that stuff where it was a big learning curve as well. Thankfully, they provide classes and coaches there, which in my first year I was, able to take advantage of, so I feel a lot more confident, yeah.
I'd assume the lifting is a lot different than your traditional lifting
Oh,
for
yeah.
sprinting sports.
Yeah, speaking on a big switch up as well. So again, so very different from, your traditional hypertrophy, 8 to 12 reps. Everything is very fast-paced, explosive type workouts. So plyometrics, box jumps, box squats, whatever you can think of in that kind of field. It's completely different than, what you would do like maybe traditionally for like a body recon position or something like that.
Do you work during the week? I don't know your schedule.
Usually I do. I took this, I know I'm working the weekends now, but I took this first 2 weeks just to see what my classes look like. So I'll make sure I can manage things first, and then I want.
So you could potentially be training in the morning for your sport, then classes, then you come to 95 and work.
That's what it was last year. Yeah, I just want to, make sure I can. I want to make sure I can get to all my schedule or my shifts as well right now. So
he was actually the one who came in when we had a call-in between classes to cover for a call-in that we had.
I could see that.
He showed up for an hour to help us out.
It's not
and
bad.
Then went back to class.
Yeah, of course. That's another thing. Like working here is very flexible, which I always appreciative. So I try and if I can, give back when I in those little opportunities. I don't mind at all. So
that is very good.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. How old are you?
I'm 19. I'm turning 20 in.
So do you have any friends that are like you? Because I feel like you're very ahead of a standard 19.
Yeah, I think it's who you surround yourself with as well.
True.
Yeah, so I've made a lot of friends through my track team as well, so that share that similar mindset. But even in high school, I've had a few friends who also went to other colleges for other sports. Again, one of my best friends went to going to St. Bonaventure, so another big school as well. So like that was very, as you surround yourself with those people for so long, eventually, I think it just helps you stay focused and disciplined as well.
For sure. It does not sound like the typical freshman, sophomore college kids that are trying to not gain the freshman 15, but hit every single party of that, season. You're on a completely different path.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That's wonderful.
Mine was a freshman 30.
Well, that'll happen.
That'll happen. I think the big part too is your competitiveness, being around that competitive atmosphere at all times. And now you're in college and it's even more competitive. And when you have that drive to be better, not finishing in the top 3 anymore, when you first, like you said, the challenge of first coming to college has to motivate you, because eventually you're going to be there. If you keep putting in the work, by the time you reach your senior year, you're going to be back in that upper level.
I'm just very happy with even just like the progress I've been able to make. It's been so far pretty linear, but it's not always that way. Like in anything else you do, whether you're in the gym or not, it's not always just like a linear thing. So say you have a bad race, there's a lot of time it's easy to identify yourself, with a bad performance or something, and it's important not to do that as well. It's something I've learned. So absolutely.
Yeah, a bad day is just a bad day.
Of course. And towards the end of the year, like I said, I was just very much very confident going into that as well.
Besides athletics, is there anything else that you're interested in? Or
I mean, again, I do a lot of, like, before I started doing track as well, it was always just like hypertrophy training, stuff like that, which is something I just became like obsessed with every single day, you know what I'm saying? So really.
I was expecting something like video games.
He doesn't have time for
That
it.
too.
Okay, so give us something non-health and wellness, non-sports related, non-work related.
Yeah. Well, then you hit the nail on the head. Yeah, I'll spend sometimes too much time playing video games, and that also didn't help last year. Like I was talking about my sleep, so.
Yeah, you compromise sleep for
Exactly.
Flowers and
Yeah. So
Call of Duty.
I'm really into that. Like, I've like, it sounds kind of, it's a bit nerdy, but like I've like I build like computers. Like I do that with my dad sometimes. I really enjoy doing that. So
With your dad?
yeah, well, I got him into it too. Slowly by slowly, yeah.
Nice. What's the most powerful machine you've ever built?
Right now, well, you're not gonna know what these numbers mean probably, but I built a 7900 GRE and a 7600X is on a B650, but that's all I'm running right now. Yeah.
It sounds like
like a
he's talking
car.
about-
Yeah.
Like,
Well, yeah, and I know it's like you're into cars. I always say I'll get into cars when I got money to get into cars. So
Yeah, I used to know what the graphics cards,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
latest graphic cards are.
Absolutely.
You know, back then there were only dual core processors.
Yeah.
Now, what do they have? Quad core.
They're up to 24 now.
24
so,
core
yeah.
processors. Yeah, it's been a while.
Well, I know you're into cars as well. Yeah, you've seen the Huracan. I've seen the Wrap.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, all right.
we
can
could go there.
Politics.
I do
We-
have a question.
Yeah.
Is any of this trans joining women's teams a thing in college?
Actually, yeah, it was. So we were.
Like, obviously, you don't have any girls joining the boys' team.
Well, not at my school, but anyway, we were at RIT the one time, and there was a big controversy because the women's 200, there was a guy that kind of won it. So there was a guy that went in the girls' heat and won it, and that was that's not. I just not.
But
I don't
was it
agree
like
with that. So
was it a guy?
it was
Or was it a guy trying to look like a girl?
exactly right. So
But it was still a dude.
exactly, yeah,
Still no.
yeah.
Oh,
So
that's unfortunate.
it's just unfortunate when I don't know. It's the same thing you saw it in the Olympics.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't care if you wear a skirt and run in the men's track. If
Yeah.
that's cool. Just you got to stick to.
It's just not fair to the female competitors. So.
Yeah, and I can't imagine how I'm sure they did not feel great.
Oh, they didn't. They were. I mean, I would be,
I probably
rightfully
wouldn't
upset.
even run.
Yeah.
I'd just be like, forget it.
Yeah, it's very upsetting. So
I'm sure he beat them by a lot.
it was it's unfortunately not that much.
But it was, he would have lost. Running
You
against
guys
the
would have
guys.
killed him.
Yeah.
For sure. Do you have any questions for us? Do you want to
Yeah,
ask
no,
us
yeah.
anything?
Yeah, I know a decent amount, just but everything I know about you guys is from social media. Is there anything you guys are interested in outside of that as well? I know you like your cars.
She likes the cars too.
Yeah.
We're both car people.
There's worse habits to have, right?
Of course,
You
yeah.
know, like when you said, as you get older, you can get into cars, so that's something that we enjoy.
Really, when we first started this business, this was our baby.
Yeah, of course.
So it was 95 Nutrition 24/7. Our belief systems, how we wanted people trained, what our philosophies were, what we wanted people to tell our customers when it was no longer us. Because when we first started, it was mostly her dealing with the customers
Every
face
single
to face,
customer.
every single one. And we just wanted to make sure that as we hired, that everyone knew that these were the values of the company. And, we don't want you telling people that you can only lose weight by doing keto.
Exactly
We
right.
don't want
Yeah.
misinformation out there. So those are our philosophies. It starts with calories in versus calories out. So that was the beginning.
How did you
was coming
find
up with
us?
that.
I was actually a customer before,
Oh,
so
cool.
I live like kind of like in like North Tonawanda-ish.
Yeah.
So I go down to like that LA there's an LA Fitness in the Falls. I was always going there, and then one of my friends told me to try this pie. I tried the pie. And
Try
then,
the
yeah.
pie.
And that was-
You haven't
that
tried
was
So-
this pie.
And I just started getting it because it was just convenient for school. So I would just come in and get a few things, and then
Well, now with your employee discount.
I know it's,
Yeah.
it's dangerous.
Hookup,
So
baby.
I know it's dangerous.
Nice.
So yeah, now you see that you don't see us at all, really.
yeah.
And it's because we trust that our managers are doing their jobs.
Oh,
We're
absolutely.
not micromanagers. We don't, expect. We expect people to do their jobs. So we expect you to do your job at the cash register. I'm not gonna, watch video of Seth every single time. That's what we have managers for. So
Absolutely.
I'm glad we finally got a chance to meet.
Yeah, of course.
And you're
It's refreshing to
Yeah.
know that you're taking care of our customers. Like I
course.
said, I see the reviews come in, but to hear who you are face to face,
Yeah,
meet you in
absolutely.
person is so refreshing to know that our customers are in good hands
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
they rely on us, and like I always say, they could spend their money anywhere, and the fact that they choose to come through our doors is wonderful.
Yeah.
It's
And
humbling.
honestly, the positive things that I've heard from Tracy and Sierra about you, and then to finally back it up with your words and your work ethic, like there's hope for Gen Z.
Oh my gosh, I was just gonna say you do not identify as a Gen Zer. I can tell you that much because
you are an outlier.
you are definitely an outlier. We need more of your friends.
Yeah,
So
right?
Yes.
Please come work here.
Yeah,
'cause
absolutely.
that is something that we take pride in is, teaching. We know this isn't your forever job, but we are so happy to have you while you're here and instill work ethic, good customer service that you can take elsewhere
Yep.
when you go, because we'd love to keep everybody forever, but you can't. This is
course,
sales associate is your first job.
Yep.
And the skills that you learn here honestly can take you right into entrepreneurship, because being an entrepreneur is no different. You got to take care of the customer, you got to have a good work ethic, and it's the attention to detail. When you're talking about working alone, that's huge
Yeah.
here. Like a lot of Gen Zers don't excel here because working alone takes a lot of self-awareness, personal
Discipline.
accountability.
Yeah.
If you go to put meals out in the cooler and you don't feel like rotating them because you're too lazy to do it, you can just throw them in there. It has to, you have to have a certain character to be like, no, it's the right thing to do to rotate these meals.
Yeah.
And some people just can't excel without having someone breathing down their neck all day.
I get you.
So
Yeah, this is definitely one of the things that we say to employees when they first get here is working by yourself takes a lot of discipline, because like she said, you can shirk responsibilities onto the next person, but eventually that next person's going to say, hey, so-and-so isn't doing their job. I can't keep doing it for them. And we're a company that values hard work, and we're not going to just turn our back on the person that's doing all the work and say, well, we don't want to lose this person. We want a team of strong individuals that come together and back each other up.
Yeah.
So if one person's not pulling their weight, you're bringing down the rest of the team.
Mhm.
That's something that we definitely don't want here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like you said, I touched on the manager. Tracy is as well for the longest time she's been here, but it's been great in terms of just everything you kind of touched on as well as just working alone, but also keeping people accountable. So.
yeah, working alone is huge. So if you haven't heard that yet, that is something you should be proud of, because we can't keep you off of your cell phone. If all your tasks are done, go ahead, be on your cell phone. But when a customer comes in, put the cell phone away. And you wouldn't believe how many people still struggle to be like, you just spend 10 minutes on your phone, just set it down for a second and take care of the customer. So to know that you do all the right things when no one's watching, like, that's the definition of
And that's
good character.
not even just about our company policies. It's about decency.
Yeah, right.
Like,
just treating people like people.
treating people. Exactly.
I'm always the person. I could be on the phone, and if I get up to the checkout line, I say, I got to go, and hang up on the person, because I want to give that cashier 100% of my...
Of course. We appreciate that.
wherewithal.
You get that.
So, anything else?
No, I was looking forward to possibly winning
Well,
that race.
we will do our sprint challenge on a different day, maybe in a 95
Where-
storefront parking lot.
We have to have the fastest man in 95 nutrition. 'Cause,
Yes.
I mean, that's one of the, like, when you're a little kid, it's always about who's the fastest.
Yeah.
Everyone remember who's the fastest kid. No one remember
Oh
which
my
kid
gosh.
did the most push-ups or the strong.
Well,
Everyone
we will
remembered
squash
as the
this
fastest.
soon. Thanks for coming on,
Looking forward to
Seth.
it.
Appreciate meeting you.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you.